Welcome to the webinar, 5 Reasons to Earn a Master's in Clinical Mental Health Counseling at Divine Mercy University. My name is Julie Cipriano. I'm the admissions recruiter for the School of Counseling, and I will be going through this information with you today. It is a lot of material that I'm going to share, so if you have questions, I would love to answer them for you. However, we will tackle questions at the end of the presentation. So as we're going through the material, if something occurs to you that you'd like to ask, please feel free to pop the questions into the chat or into the Q&A in your Zoom toolbar, and I will be happy to handle those at the end of the presentation. Doing things this way allows people who are, they have limited time to hear the whole presentation and then drop off for questions if they have to run. So again, I'd love to answer your questions. Just pop them into the chat or into the Q&A, and I will be happy to handle them at the end of the presentation. So thank you for your time this afternoon. I look forward to talking with you about 5 reasons to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling with Divine Mercy University. Again, my name is Julie, and we are Divine Mercy University. We were founded in the late 90s under the name the Institute for the Psychological Sciences. This college still exists. If you spent any time at all on our website, you've probably seen that name. So that college houses our psychology side. So in addition to the master's in counseling, we have another master's in general psychology. So people who tend to earn that degree are people who already have a career in the helping profession, and they need either a master's level credential to advance in their field, or they just need a deeper understanding of the person, the way the mind works, the way groups function, that kind of thing. So we have a lot of school administrators, teachers in that degree program, religious and clergy, human resources professionals. Those are all people who find that master's in general psych to be useful. Again, it's not a career track degree. It's a degree for people who already have a career and need to advance it in that field. We also have an on-site doctoral program. So we do have an actual campus with, classrooms, a library, a chapel, a student center, offices, for faculty and staff. All the things, well, many of the things that a regular university has. So we have the PsyD students are in person, so they're on campus almost year round, working towards their doctorate in clinical psychology. But what DMU found through offering these programs was that there was such a need for counselors, and particularly for counselors of faith. So they decided to go ahead and add the second college that we're discussing, the School of Counseling and the Master's in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. So when a school has more than one college, that's the point at which they take a university name. So that's how we went from being plain old IPS to Divine Mercy University. We seek to provide our students an effective academic and educational environment to support the integration of the human sciences and a Catholic Christian understanding of the person. DMU is accredited, so we are institutionally accredited by SACS. You see that acronym there, or the Southern Association is what that stands for. So the way accreditation works in the US, institutional accreditation is just a baseline you should look for in any US school you attend. So if you're shopping around other colleges and they can't give you a simple yes to this institutional accreditation question, that's your sign to go very quickly in the opposite direction. The way accreditation works in the US, each area of the country has its own accrediting agency. Each one has a different name. For our region, it is called the Southern Association, or SACS is the acronym. SACS goes from where we are in Virginia all the way down around to Texas. So UT, Auburn, UVA, all those schools are accredited by SACS, just like we are. Now, when you start talking about psychology and counseling, there are a couple of extra accreditations that can be earned. The APA, or American Psychological Association, you see that down here in the middle. That's kind of the big dog of all of these accreditations. DMU is an APA accredited school. In fact, we became only the second school in the whole history of the APA to receive the full 7-year accreditation grant on the first try. They've just recently extended that to 10 years. So, we are trustworthy in their eyes for a very long accreditation period. So when you start talking about counseling, the extra accreditation for that type of program is known by the acronym CACREP, C-A-C-R-E-P. If you haven't heard of this accreditation, just tell a couple people you're interested in becoming a therapist, and you'll hear about it pretty quickly. So CACREP stands for Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs, CACREP. We have finished our CACREP accreditation process. It went very well. We finished our interviews, maybe about not quite a month ago. And we are expecting them to, at their big powwow meeting in June, to approve our school. And so we expect to begin admitting students from all CACREP states beginning in July of 2023. So the accreditation is retroactive. So all our people who have graduated will have graduated from a CACREP school. And we are thrilled about that. So if CACREP is something you came wanting to ask about and we're concerned about, we have it. Well, we will have it in June. That's not a promise. That's just our, positive prognostication. And we expect to begin admitting students from all states except for Illinois and Rhode Island in July of 2023. Illinois is excluded because as of today, if you want to be licensed in Illinois, you have to go to school in state. So unless you go to school in state, you cannot be licensed in Illinois. And then Rhode Island is a special case and a different story. So we technically could license people in that state, but we choose not to. If you're from Rhode Island, we can talk about that another time. Okay, that's a lot of information about accreditation. It's kind of boring, I'm sorry, but there it is. If you have any questions about it, feel free to pop them into the chat or into the Q&A, and I'll be happy to tackle them at the end. All right, so what makes DMU different? Well, the thing that makes us stand out from every other program is our Catholic Christian meta model of the human person. So this model is unique to our university. It was developed by our faculty, and it's the reason that the vast majority of students choose our school. What they will do, so this method and this model informs and infuses every class you will take at DMU. Excuse me. There are a core of 3 courses that you will take that will teach the model specifically, but it is not as though that the model just stays in those 3 classes. Absolutely not. It does inform and infuse every single class at DMU. And what the faculty will do through that model is teach the student to frame a treatment plan based on the Catholic understanding of the person that we are integrated beings, body, mind, and soul. And so as a therapist, when you inevitably encounter somebody who doesn't believe in God, who doesn't want to talk about God, that's okay. We understand as Catholic Christians that the objective truth of who we are and how we were created does not hinge on one's belief or unbelief. So you can help someone reach flourishing even if they never want to talk about God. The other thing the model does is it teaches such a nuanced understanding of the person that it would take a non-DMU trained therapist really a lifetime of trial and error to kind of figure out on their own if they ever fully do. So you will graduate with a leg up even on seasoned counselors. That's not just a talking point. In my travels to the university, I have encountered internship site directors who have told us that our students are far better prepared than their peers who are supposedly at the same place in their education. A lot of that has to do with this training in the meta model. We also give a little additional training and assessments that most other schools don't give, which will also give you a leg up on your peers who graduate from other programs. So if you haven't found this meta model on our website, I encourage you to search it. Just type in CCMMP. It'll come up first link. And there's a document you can download that's about 40 pages of this, an introduction to this theology and philosophy behind why we teach the way we do. It's very important reading. I encourage you to check it out. Okay, so here we go. First reason to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling. Well, this program is an online hybrid that leads to licensure as a mental health professional. Fun fact about DMU, 100% of our graduates who sit for their licensing exam pass it. So as you move through your studies, your professors will give you assignments that relate to licensure, just to make sure that you understand the process and that you're headed in the right direction. So licensing is something that happens after you graduate. So once you graduate, you will sit for a national exam and sometimes state too. It varies by state. So you can check that out with your state board to find out what exactly you have to do in your state. Once you pass the exam or exams, then you are provisionally licensed. So just like a doctor has to do a residency after medical school, it's similar for counselors in that although you will be working and being paid as a therapist, you will have that benefit of a safety net, a colleague who has more experience to just review your case notes, talk things over with you, help you navigate any rough spots, any challenges with your clients. And usually it takes about 2 years to wrap up that supervised period. If you haven't found it yet, counseling.org is a great resource. It has a state-by-state knowledge center. So you can just click on your state and you can see contact information for your state licensing board. It'll also tell you which exams you have to take and how long you have to work under supervision for each state. That information is also available on our website, but if you don't want to take our word for it, you can always check out counseling.org. Okay. Any questions about licensing? I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. Just pop them into the chat or into the Q&A in your Zoom toolbar, and I will handle them here shortly. Okay, so second reason to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling. You gain practical experience through our online programs and also through our 3 in-person residency and your practicum and internship. So as you move through your online studies, you'll come to campus 3 times total to campus here in Virginia, and they use that time together here over a long weekend to teach the counseling skills that don't lend themselves to online learning. So things like nonverbal communication, situational ethics. There are always a ton of presentations going on by faculty, students, and student groups. It's also a big gateway weekend, so all the professors are there with you, and they're looking to make sure that each student has gained the skills needed to be ready to move on to the next section. So right now we're enrolling for our August cohort. Students who begin school in August will come to campus for their first residency early in October. The second one is always a year later, so you would come back the following October. And then the third one is 6 months to a year after the second one, depending on if you're full-time or part-time. So they are 4 days long. You would arrive on a Wednesday evening and stay through a Sunday afternoon. While you're here, they'll expect you to be on site and attend the whole program. There is a fee for that training that's built into your tuition. This says $1,500 per residency. That's actually changed. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but we'll come to the cost page here pretty soon and you will have that information shortly. I'm sorry we neglected to update this little tidbit here. So it's a little more, it's like $1,650, I want to say, but don't hold me to that. It's somewhere around that. Okay. So that fee does cover your training, obviously, but also your hotel and most of your meals while you're here for training. So once you've finished your third residency and the bulk of your online classes, you'll then step into practicum and internship. And these are done in your own area based on the kind of counseling work you'd like to do. So whether you're interested in addictions, trauma, marriage and family, whatever it is, you can choose your internship accordingly. Another fun fact about DMU is that our internship placement is 100%. So you will get one and we will help you with it. We like that 100 number. It's one of our favorites. So when it comes time for practicum and internship, practicum will come first. Practicum is 100 hours of on-the-job training. So this is what gets you ready for the real hands-on counseling work of your internship. At least 40 of those 100 hours of on-the-job training will be actual service with counseling clients. So you'll begin to work as a therapist with someone in the room with you. Once you finish that 100 hours of on-the-job training, you'll then step into your internship. Each internship is 300 hours and spans 16 weeks. So again, our internship placement is 100%. You will get one. We will help you with it. You can choose accordingly and specialize in your degree in that way and how you choose your internship. We do have 2 directors of internship, one for the East and one for the West, and they will work closely with you to help you identify a few places in your area that you'd like to work based on your interest. And they will help you to secure that for your internship period. All right. So, third reason to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling are terrific faculty. This is maybe 1/5 of the faculty we have in the School of Counseling. Dr. Vivlechka here on the left, Dr. V as the students call her, is our program director. So she makes all the big decisions about waivers and, transfer credits and all that good stuff. So she's in charge of the whole School of Counseling. And then, she also teaches some courses. So you can look on the website and see kind of what her specialty is. Beside her are Drs. Keys and Sharp. They are our internship site directors. Dr. Keys handles everyone east of the Mississippi, and Dr. Sharp assists everyone west of the Mississippi. And then we have beside them Drs. D. Liaco and Dr. Humes. Dr. D. Liaco is one of our international students, so he works and resides in the Philippines. And Dr. Humes is in the north central part of the country, somewhere up there where it's very cold. But our website does have a faculty page on the counseling pages of the website. So you can read through the bios of all of our professors, see who they are, what they've been up to in their professional lives. There's also an email address for each one of them. So if you're looking through and somebody's career really speaks to your interest, or you just want to reach out, feel free. They'll be happy to respond. Usually they are pretty quick to send you right back to me, but they're happy to talk with prospective students, and you feel free to email them anytime. All right, fourth reason to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling. Well, job, J-O-B. That's why most people want this degree. They're interested in having a career that can help them to assist people to reach flourishing through talk therapy, and that's what we do. I had a CMU alumna on here with me on the webinar recently, and she said that in her work as a therapist, she does all of these things. In her practice, she handles all of these tasks. So you will be a well-rounded therapist when you finish your master's in counseling at CMU, prepared to handle anything that comes your way. A lot of people want to know how much they're going to earn in this career, and I am not sure. That really depends on where you live and what you do. If you work in a homeless shelter, obviously you're going to earn a homeless shelter salary. If you hang out your shingle in a reasonably metropolitan area and go into private practice, you're going to probably jump up to 6 figures pretty quickly. So what you earn depends on where you are and what you do. Most people who earn this degree do it because they want to be a therapist, but it is a very versatile degree. You can do a lot of things with it. There was a time when at DMU, our Dean of Students was someone who had a master's in counseling. In the county where I reside, the woman who is in charge of the Division of Social Services is someone who has a master's in counseling. So she oversees all of the social workers in the county. So like I said, it's a very versatile degree. You can do a lot with it, but most people who earn it tend to do it because they want to become a therapist who helps people reach flourishing through talk therapy. All right, fifth reason to earn a master's in clinical mental health counseling. Well, this degree is extremely flexible. It's designed for working professionals. So if you have people, a family, or just yourself relying on you for support, you can work full-time and go to school part-time. The learning is available anywhere, anytime, as long as you have your computer and the internet. You can be anywhere in the world you want to be and still get your schoolwork done. As you move through your studies, your professors will arrange for weekly real-time meetings to do things like question and answer, discussion group review, all that good stuff. So you will work very closely with your professors. You will also work very closely with the other students in your cohort, obviously, to build your counseling skills, but also to build the professional friendships and relationships that you'll need once you become a mental health professional. So a cohort is 42. They will break the 42 down into 2 sections of 21. And within that, each section, you'll be broken down further into the small group of people who will become your people, you know, who you'll work with to build your counseling skills and to build those very especially close relationships. All right, if you have any questions about how the general coursework goes, feel free to pop the questions into the chat or into the Q&A, and I'll be happy to tackle them here shortly. All right, so our entrance requirements are a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. We talked about accreditation earlier. We also require a GPA of 3.0 overall, or in your major, or in your last 60 credits. If you're slightly under that, probably it's not a big deal. We could probably find a 3.0 in there somewhere in one of those 3 areas. If it's a little more under than you would like, that's also not necessarily a deal breaker. We can apply to Dr. Vavlechka for a waiver of the GPA requirement. If that's your case, then please feel free to contact me outside of this webinar. I'd be happy to help you with that. We also require the GRE. So the GRE is a standardized entrance exam for graduate school, kind of similar to what the SAT or ACT was for your undergraduate entrance exam. We do require the GRE, however, we do not use it to make admissions decisions. So we just need you to do it. We don't necessarily care what you get. In fact, you can apply and be admitted before we ever see your GRE score. So just take it, just rip that Band-Aid off. We don't care what you get. We especially don't care what you get in math. If you happen to have already a master's or higher, then we can waive the GRE. And again, just contact me outside of this webinar for how to go about having that done. As part of your application package, we will need official transcripts sent directly from your institution to us. If you are an international student and if your degree, your transcript is in a language other than English, then or if it's graded on a scale other than 4.0 as we use in the US, then you would need a translation and or evaluation course by course. Also, if your native language is not English, then we do require the TOEFL, and you can see the score requirements there. So here's the investment for graduate school. Right now, starting in August, it is $925 per credit. It's a 66 credit master's degree. So 925 times 66 is 61,050. There's a $50 tech fee per class for a total of $1,100. Lab fees are $375. And then the residency fee we talked about, 3 residencies is $49.50. I can do the math to figure out how much that is per residency. So yeah, $16.50 per residency for a total of $49.50. So all that together gives you a total tuition value for the whole program, start to finish, of $67,475. So that's $67,475. Now, graduate school is affordable. We do have a number of ways to assist you in making it affordable. We do participate fully with a federal loan program. So if you felt like you wanted or needed a student loan, we can certainly help you with that. If you're employed, some employers do offer tuition reimbursement, so it's worth investigating to see if that might be a benefit for you at your place of work. We're also approved for the VA, through the VA for the GI Bill. We're also a yellow ribbon school. We also participate with AmeriCorps benefits. So if you have any of those, or if they can be assigned to you, we'd be happy to help you with that. We do have a very nice scholarship program available. You can find them on our website by searching for scholarships. They're designed very nicely, so everybody qualifies for something. The way scholarships work is you can apply for 4, you can accept 2. Right now we're giving away a bonus 3rd scholarship, an extra $2,000 just for getting your paperwork started early. Some people use private funds. We do have a matching scholarship available, so any nonprofit support you can find from outside our institution, you know, whether it's a religious or fraternal type organization, some sort of agency, your church community, any nonprofit support you can find, we will match up to $2,000. So, you know, ask around. You know, if you're Catholic, the nights are always good for something. If you have a church community, as a counselor trained in this method, you do become quite a valuable resource within a community who's looking for a therapist to refer people to who are not going to rip their faith from them. So I have seen students receive money and support from churches just for agreeing to stay put for a certain time after they graduate. It's definitely worth a conversation. There's also an interesting federal program called National Health Service Corps. This is a program outside of DMU. If you use your favorite search engine, it'll come up first link, I promise. Just check it out. The way it works is if you're willing to work in an area designated either low income or underserved for 2 years after you graduate, once you've served 3 months of that agreed upon 2-year period, they'll give you a lump sum of up to $50,000 toward your student loan debt in exchange for that. Since you have to work under supervision anyway after you graduate, this is a no-brainer if you can work it out. It's a great way to go, increase your salary, knock out the student loan debts up front. Okay. So at DMU, there are 2 paths you can take to finance your education. You can either, or offset the cost, I should say, you can either apply for scholarships or you can take a tuition reduction through a partnership that we already have existing. So this is not an exhaustive list of our partners. There's a longer list on the website, but I think that's not even complete. So if you don't see your institution on here, or if you have a question about establishing it, then just give us a shout. We'd be happy to help you. So usually these tuition reductions are a little better than scholarships, but not always. So it's just worth investigating all of your options when you talk with financial aid. Once you begin your application, our financial aid experts will be in touch to begin talking with you about tuition, scholarships, which ones you should pursue, and what you can reasonably expect from us given your particular situation. All right, again, our entrance requirements are the bachelor's degree, the GPA of 3.0 overall, or in your major, or in your last 60 credits. If you're a little below, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Just give me a shout later and we can talk about it. We do require the GRE. However, we don't use it to make admissions decisions. And if you have an advanced degree, you can have the GRE waived. Once your application is complete, there is an interview process. There are 2 online video conferencing interviews to be done. The first one's easy. It's a quick 30 minutes with me. Mostly it's a coaching session to get you ready for the big interview, which is a 3-hour online group interview with 2 or 3 other applicants to the program and 2 faculty members. So all this is well and good, but a lot of people want to know when we get to this point, how do I know this is the right path? How do I know I'm making the right decision? Well, you know, that's an important consideration when you're making a big commitment like this. And I'd encourage you to ask these 4 questions of yourself, give them some thought, be honest with yourself, you know, and seriously consider, 1, do you have the desire to help heal the whole person and to help people flourish? 2, would you like to have a career which enables you to answer the question, how can I help people? Thirdly, what can you do to make a positive contribution in others' lives? Can you be that instrument of healing? And finally, I ask you to ask yourself honestly, seriously consider, if you were to apply and be admitted, is this something you'd be committed to seeing through? In other words, are you someone who finishes what you begin? If you can give a serious and sober yes to these 4 questions, then it's likely you're a great fit for the program. And I encourage you to take a step. You know, God can't show you the way if you won't move your feet. So take a step, use the application process as a discernment tool in a similar way that a seminarian uses seminary as a discernment tool. Walk through the application process, see where God leads you. Our application process is pretty simple, pretty streamlined. The first step is just the online demographic form, sections 1 through 8 of the online application for admissions. Very easy to find on our website. There are buttons everywhere that say apply now. Just click one of them. The first sections 1 through 8 take about 20 or 30 minutes. You can do it today if you want to. Once we have that demographic form in hand, our financial aid experts will be in touch again to begin discussing with you your particular situation and what you can reasonably expect from us. Once we have that work done, we'll begin to gather your documents. We have 2 brief essays, a 500-word personal statement and a 200-word professional statement. We'll need an updated copy of your resume, official transcripts from each degree you have earned. No need to send me your million billion transfer credit transcripts. I don't need to see those, just transcripts for degrees conferred. We also request that you provide 1 recommendation. You'll see a link to the recommendation form when you complete the first part of the application. We will ask for a recommendation from either a current or former professor or from a supervisor at work, some sort of professional reference like that. Once we have wrapped up gathering those documents and your scholarship work, we'll then set you up for your interviews and hopefully admission. Classes begin August 23rd, 2023. We'd love to help you be in that cohort. I thank you for your time this afternoon. Again, my name's Julie. I'm the admissions counselor for the School of Counseling. My direct number is here. You can call or text me at that number. You can email me anytime. And as a thank you for attending this webinar, we'd like to give you a waiver of the $55 application fee. The code to waive that fee is CCMMP 1999. Feel free to jot that down. Use it whenever you like. We appreciate your time. Now I will tackle the questions in the Q&A or in the chat box. If you have a question you'd like to ask, feel free to squeak it in there real quick. If you have to drop off now, I thank you again for your time and I look forward to talking with you soon. All right, let's see what questions we have here. I'm sorry, my audio was cutting out a little. I hope it was better and that you guys were able to hear me. I have a very expensive microphone, and if it's not working, I have no idea why. Sorry about that. All right. If you need me to repeat anything, I'm happy to. Just tell me what it is. All right, let's see here. Timeline for applying and taking the GRE for someone looking to enter DMU in the fall of 2024. Well, the GRE, you know, you can do whenever. It takes 2 weeks for us to receive this official score from the testing agency. So the key thing to know is that you can't be seated in the cohort until we have your GRE score. So if you interview tonight and you're accepted, for instance, and you didn't have your GRE score, well, that would be great, but you can't actually be seated in the cohort until we have that GRE. So ideally, you would come to the application process with that completed and in hand. If not, then you would take it as soon as possible and get us, you know, so that we can get the scores in a timely manner. There is almost always a wait list for our cohorts. And now that KCREP is coming through, that is going to exponentially increase. So I would say it would be prudent for fall of 24 or whatever 2024 to come with your GRE in hand, probably just in your best interest. Okay. Any other questions for me? Going once, going twice? What steps need to be certified in Ontario after taking this program? I don't know, and international students are responsible for talking with their local officials to find out what the requirements are in their area. I can tell you that we have a number of students in Ontario. We have graduates who are licensed and practicing in Saskatchewan. So, you know, and our school is on the approved list for the national financial aid in Canada, whatever the name of that program is. So we're all approved and sealed and qualify for that. So I believe our school meets all requirements in Canada, but it's wise to check and make sure. If you're looking to attend school in fall of 24, I would say you can begin your application by March of 24 would probably be a great time. You can apply sooner if you want, but we won't have much time to help you because we do accept applications on a rolling basis. We have 3 starts each year, August, January, and May. So we just wrapped up our May start. So now we're working on August and we'll handle January after that. So I would say about 6 months ahead of time is as early as you want to go. All right. So Sunday wants to know how soon you can begin the program from today. Our next start is August 23rd of 2023. So that's as soon as you can start. If you are hoping to start in the August cohort, I would encourage you to apply today. Don't wait. It's filling up fast. I would be happy to jump you to the front of the line if you can get your paperwork done quickly. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for your time and attendance and attention today. I really appreciate it. You can see my number here again. Feel free to text or call me anytime. You can also email me. And don't forget to jot down the waiver code to waive your application fee. Apply today for August. Time is running short. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye now.